In this video, I will be reading in this audio recording, I will be reading two articles, one from iDigital Times and one from Times Union Blog. Now the subject is about GTA 5 for children. So this is the first article from iDigital Times. All the bad words all the bad words in this article will be replaced with kid-friendly alternatives. Or beeping. Like beep. Should kids play GTA 5? Only if their parents are rated M for mature. Monday, September 23rd, 2013, 1746. 1746 is in military time. I don't know the time. GTA 5 is upon us, and as expected, so is the media firestorm of how it causes kids to kill or is the hallmark of bad parenting. I followed GTA 5 news pretty closely in the last few weeks, and after the release last Tuesday, there were a number of posts on Reddit from GameStop clerks who were selling the title to clueless parents. One clerk even wrote a letter to Kotaku encouraging parents to do the right thing. What if buying your 11-year-old GTA 5 is the right thing to do? Let me explain. I played somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 through 50 hours of GTA 5 in the last week. I've seen all the content that gives it a capital M for mature rating. People like to talk about the violence or sexual content or the drug use in the game as reasons why it's not acceptable for children. But a lot of the blanket judgments thrown around in the last week really irk me, because I appear to be alone on this. And I don't think buying GTA 5 for your kid makes you a bad parent. And I certainly don't think it's the cause for you to be judged by the very same people who are going to be revealing in the sex, drugs, and violence found in the game. The fact of the matter is that it's rated M for mature is so that a child can't walk into GameStop and buy it without parental consent. So if a parent knows what's in GTA 5 and chooses it for their child, then that is their right. Even if they don't know and buy it anyway, is it really going to be a life-altering event? Because I remember being 11 years old and playing games like Mortal Kombat and Duke Nukem, and the last time I checked, I haven't murdered anyone. Aside from some personal herbal remedies, I'm a law-abiding citizen. Just because a child is enthralled with some media that is violent or sexualized in some way doesn't mean that they will automatically mimic that behavior. Hearing people talk about kids and GTA 5 reminds me of this joke from Louis C.K., and he discusses gay marriage and people who think it's immoral and bad for children, and says, two guys who are in love and can't get married because you don't want to talk to your ugly child for 5 minutes? This is the essence of why I think GTA 5 is okay for kids. Parents need to be involved. Yes, it's full of violence. But so are plenty of other video games, movies, and TV. And unless if you're the worst parent in the world, you probably have a good idea of whether or not your kid has this kind of anger/aggression issues that might make the game a problem. Oh, and the argument that desensitizes kids and makes them more violent? Bull beep! As this PBS report points out, juvenile violent crime is at a 30-year low. The NES launched 30 years ago. Coincidence? Strippers and beep! Classic American traditions. We'll put all kinds of violence in movies and TV shows good for kids, but God forbid they see a breast. And unlike the 345 quintillion 775 billion 289 million 544,211 pictures and videos of breasts online, the breasts in GTA 5 do not in any way belong to an actual human being who may have coerced, I don't know how to say it, or exploited to reveal them. I need to take a deep breath there. If GTA GTA 5 is the first place your 11-year-old sees a breast, then you have the most computer illiterate 11-year-old on the planet. Every child with a smartphone has access to an insane amount of sexual content, and if their tech-savvy parents block it, then they likely have a friend who does. Drug use? Please. The drug use in GTA is either mild or over the top. Users are either slightly hazy or experiencing full-scale hallucinations too cartoony to be believed. The only correlation between GTA 5 and drug use are the gamers who like to toke up before playing. It doesn't glorify it or talk about it very much at all. Most of the game is about stealing and robbing people, an action that most children should know is wrong by the time they reach kindergarten, or murdering. Again, something most kids have a handle on by the time they enter school. I'm surprised that there isn't any kind of a reaction among parents who enjoy a game like GTA 5, because it gives them a bridge to talk about sensitive issues with their kids. Sit down and play the game together and talk about drugs and beep and sex and violence and bad language. Let them know that Los Angeles is usually the only appropriate place for those things. Should kids play GTA 5? Of course, but only if their parents play it first. Thank you, Mo Mavok, for making that article. Not your evil, but this is another article by Derek Harrington. October 1st, 2013. The article is called, Parents, Why You Should Let Your Kids Play Grand Theft Auto 5. Last week, Nikki LeDuc wrote a good blog on what parents should know before buying GTA 5. GTA 5 from here on out. I want to increase my word count for these blogs, but writing Grand Theft Auto 50 times isn't the way for me to get there for their kids. You can read it, and I recommend it here. I'm not going to read it because I've already read it, and I don't think it's good. Did you read it? Good, good. Now, I'm going to give you reasons to ignore her article and buy GTA 5, not just for your kids, for all kids. Here we go. When I was a child, I stuck my finger in a light socket. I learned not to do that again without anyone telling me. Now, assume that a light socket wasn't a light socket, but a 40-hour fun experience. Don't you think I would go at that light socket and go, remember the good time I had? I should not touch that. Editor, I'm going to look at this analogy and going, I don't get it. Parenting. Haven't you done enough? Buy this game and put your child in the video game system, a TV helps too, in the same room. If your kid reaches for the game, then you have clearly taught the child the value of $1. I mean, you've already bought it at that point. I consider this example an accomplishment over anything else. We all want our children to have a very powerful advantage when it comes to schooling, right? Well, in this example, let's say your kid shows up to first grade, day 1. What's the message you're sending to your child when he or she is the one kid in class that doesn't know how to pick up a prostitute or fire an Uzi? I'll tell you what the message is. We don't care about your education. Microtransactions. GTA 5 Online Mode is said to introduce microtransactions. These are 99 cents or so charges for in-game items, like extra moves in Candy Crush. If you've never heard of them, here's a surprise. Your kids know what they are. And if they had access to your credit card, you better believe they'd make some microtransactions. So here's a good chance to teach them fiscal responsibility. Give them your credit card and let them go hog wild. What's the worst that could possibly happen? This is one for my pro-gun arguers out there. The dangerous people have ways of getting GTA 5, so why should we even attempt to keep it out of the hands of anyone else? Why you don't want your kids to play? Why not you move to Canada? Connie. From Derek. Now, I'm actually going to be looking at another article. Let me look at another article. I Alright, I just found an article from metro.co.uk called, well, this is from Game Central, Children versus Grand Theft Auto 5, Reader's Feature. I think this is a good article. A reader argues that it's morally wrong to let underage children play a game like GTA 5, and that doing so damages the whole of gaming. I've read all the letters regarding underage gamers being allowed to play GTA 5. I've paid particular attention to the people that have allowed their underage children/minors to play it. In fact, I can't believe we're even having to discuss this, because it's such a clear-cut issue that I will go on and sadly still irrelevant and say just as sad will be ongoing as sure. I'm sure. Having played the game at length now, it's blatantly obvious why an 18...